And the shooting comes just one day after Education Secretary Betsy Devos met with a group behind closed doors, the White House survivors and other family members affected by school shootings. The meeting was supposed to help lay the groundwork for the administration's new School Safety Commission. Well, J.T. Lewis was part of that meeting. He tragically lost his brother in Sandy Hook. He joins us now live to talk about where we go from here. J.T., thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
What's your reaction today? I mean, you've been through this numerous times, hearing this news since the day you lost your brother. And I know you're frustrated because you think there are things we can be doing and we're not doing.
Yeah, I just feel so bad for all the victims. I know exactly what they're going through. It's the rest of your life will be spent in pain. And it's unfortunate because there are things we can do to prevent these shootings.
So we hear from Education Secretary Betsy Devos, we simply cannot allow this trend to continue. Our work remains urgent. Our nation must come together and address the underlying issues that lead to such tragic and senseless loss of life. Very similar language from the House Minority Leader, Democrat Nancy Pelosi, saying no other community or family must endure the unthinkable horror of gun violence. Our children deserve real leadership, a vote to prevent gun violence now. So what, in your estimation, is out there? You're part of this conversation with this effort to find real-world solutions. What can be done?
Yeah, well, first, I just want to take a minute to thank Secretary Devos for holding that meeting and for hearing from members of the community, people who've been affected by these shootings, to get the best possible information, compile it into a report, return it to the president, and then take it from there and, get things done to stop these shootings. It's getting ridiculous at this point. But a few things that I would like to see. My biggest thing is armed guards in schools. You see schools where there are armed guards. 3 of the most recent shootings, one in Illinois recently, maybe just Friday, where an armed guard confronts a student, apprehends him. Sometimes the student doesn't even die. And the casualties are kept to 1 or 0, and that's still too many. But it's better than 17 in Parkland, 26 in Newtown.
A university professor from Northeastern University, his name is James Allen Fox. He studies these mass school shootings. He himself is a proponent of gun control, but he talks about the fact that when you talk about armed guards or armed teachers or other safety measures, he worries about the impact. He says this: "I'm not a big fan of making schools look like fortresses because they send a message to kids that the bad guy is coming for you. If we're surrounding you with security, you must have a bullseye on your back, and that can actually instill fear, not relieve it." As a young person yourself, what do you think of that?
Well, I've talked to my classmates about this. I've talked to a lot of different people. The idea of armed guards has a lot of support. And I just want to say, after 9/11, airports added security. They did it because it keeps us safe. And it's the same thing in schools. And you get used to it. In schools, we'll add the security, we'll add metal detectors, we'll add single entry points, we'll add armed guards. And over time, we will get used to it. It's for our own safety. It's for the safety of our youth.
Well, I know that the number of armed guards has gone up. The numbers show us that. The studies show us that. And I know you're going to be a part of this continuing conversation with this group as they try to come up with solid answers to this. And there don't seem to be any easy ones. They're going to take some fighting and some, uphill battles to get them done. But we're glad your voice is in the conversation. I can only imagine all of the emotions you go through today. I know it's your birthday as well. So, JT, thank you for making time for us and for continuing to try to be a voice in this process.
Thank you for having me.